Grand Rising, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Ptah Shakur here. I see we haven't jumped on the White Rose Community Channel 16 and 18 as of yet. However, we're going to do a little microphone check. Shout out to everybody that's watching us here on Facebook Live. Boys and girls. Ooh, I got this. This is Ptah Shakur here. Just crouch down a little bit. Jumped on the White Rose Community Channel 16 and 18. All right, there we go. I'm coming out loud and clear. We having our technical team working to see about getting us on the White Rose channel. However, we're going out live on Facebook. We see you, we love you. And also we're live here on YouTube. So I'm going to do all my due diligence for the next couple seconds or so. Make sure I share these out to my wonderful subscribers. I'm just going to make this real simple here. So like I said, we're getting a few seconds as we work through these technical difficulties to make sure that we get on the White Rose channel before I begin. It's been a little bit of time since I last came before you all. A lot of things taking place. You can read on the bottom screen there, World War III. Are you ready? Are you ready for the New World Order? Or are you ready for the New Earth? You guys say, Ptah, why I have to make a choice? Hey, I'm not the one who said it. However, it was written about in all the scriptures and the scrolls to talk about a new heaven and a new earth just beyond the horizon. So, we're going to begin in 1 second. Hola. These are my peoples here. Everybody who's watching there on Facebook. We got YouTube up in here. Later on. Okay, let's go. This is the Ptah Shakur Speaks broadcast. This is a program that is designed to, yes, you that's listening at home, if you would like to understand what's going on in this world as we move into this wonderful creative space, the same type of space that I was talking about in all the scriptures and the scrolls, particularly in Revelation, where it says a new heaven and a new earth. Hence, what you see on the bottom, like a New World Order. Are you ready for that? Or are you ready for the new earth? It's all up to you. But before I begin, this particular broadcast is here to discuss those particular things. What is the difference between New World Order and the new earth? World War III, if you have been paying attention to what's going on around the world, these are same things that, yes, I, Ptah Shakur, have shared in advance that these type of things will be happening. And so if you go to my Facebook and YouTube channels, you see that particularly there, and when I began in January, I believe, of 2022, I've actually shared some of these ideas that we're experiencing right now. When I mentioned about keep your eyes into the sky, that doesn't mean stop. Just because the Chinese air balloons and all the different New Jersey drones, as they call them, stay tuned. Much, much more to kind of keep your eyes abreast to what's going on. Not only just because of things moving around in the sky, but also because of geological events and events that are taking place that the earth is transforming right now. Did you know, just real quick, get a pen and pad, because I promise you this is an education that you might want to write down. You're not going to see this on mass media. You're not going to see this in the school curriculums. Hence, I have to be the one to bring it to you. But did you know that the center column of the center core of the earth is actually slowing in its rotation, and some scientists say it started to spin the other way? Okay, how does that matter? What does that matter to you and I in my day-to-day life? What that matters is that you see with that change, also with the change of the electromagnetic field of the earth, meaning the North Pole and South Pole, yes, it is already moved. Hence, that's why you see these dramatic shifts in weather. We'll get into that more later on. And also, did you know that the continent of Kenya is splitting asunder? There is actually a supercontinent that's under what we call Africa. The ancients call it something a little bit different than that. However, there's a body or a supercontinent that is actually giving birth through that area of Kenya, which is actually shortening the Suez Canal, and it's causing quite a bit of upheaval. Remember Pangea, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. That's why Africa, it would always have the most resources and the most minerals available, because it actually has that same molten metals that are circulating inside the subterraneous areas of our planet actually arise up. That's one of the main points, that it arises up through that continent called Africa. So as soon as it starts to acquiescence, as they call it, or cool down, once that land mass rises, it would always be the most abundant mineral rich place in the world, because of these metals that are actually being brought up from the ground. So these are just little did you know. I'm kind of freestyling here a little bit. I do have a call-in number. I might pop that up on the screen as soon as I get off my chest what I came here to share. But as you can see on the bottom of the screen, power of gratitude. We're going to go into that in a very, very short amount of time. Why is gratitude powerful? I'll explain. The person that sounds just like me, because believe it or not, we have bad actors that are doing their due diligence to make sure that you and I do not understand the divinity that is actually being expressed through us at this particular time. So it's going into hyper mode to make sure that we're fully distracted, fully fearful, and fully in an outrageous, offensive type of mode. But fret not, we're not going to let those bad actors promote through the media, promote through their other arms of extensions to keep us in a low vibration manner. No, we're going to arise, grand rising. That's why I say grand rising. Not good morning, not good evening, or not good night. Grand rising. We're going to make sure that we're very, very particular and intentional with the words that we speak. Hence, we can get our intentional results back into our lives. Something else that we wasn't taught as far as how to utilize the language perfectly to analyze and actually bring into our lives exactly what we need. So, gratitude, we're going to go into that a little bit. I've actually got a 2-hour special. Yes. Not only are we going from 7 to 8, we're actually going to continue on into to the 9 o'clock hour. And in that time frame, I'll be going into the map of consciousness. It's different levels of consciousness depending on the emotions that you're feeling, depending on the understanding of a few key principles can greatly affect your ability to receive what it is by nature, what is yours, which is everything. Or if you just receive the bare minimum on the crumbs that these elitists of this world want you to be settled with, while they have 99% of all the resources and the wealth, this 1%, well, I'm being exaggerating when I'm saying 1%, but for the purpose of this particular program, 1% of the world's population owns 99% of all the wealth, resources, and things of that nature. So why do they keep want to pull from us? We'll go into that in a little bit, but guess we're not popping up on White Rose, but we're going to keep on going. I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure that I answer questions there on YouTube and here on Facebook as well. But before I do anything, I'm going to take a big, deep breath. Whew, that's 2. Let me do one more. The importance of breath, when you actually learn how to breathe properly, does tremendous things with focusing in your manifestation abilities, as well as it gives you a calmer disposition when you're dealing with people outside of you that are seeking to pull you from your peace. We're not going to allow that. So by taking those deep breaths in, we're going to understand as far as how our thought capacity fully relates to our lung capacity. So if you have not took a time out of your day, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's pretty much if you watch 2 YouTube shows. Matter of fact, just 1 YouTube show. It probably add up the ads that actually come on. You know, the ones where you're kind of waiting, so you can press skip ad. What 5 minutes of your day, how much would you even recognize and even notice 5 minutes of a day? But if you would sit in a conscious breathing state, yes, you are being breathed. You do not normally breathe. You are being breathed by this wonderful creation of your human body. But however, we got to make sure that we're being intentional. Bring our minds into this great physical experience. And yes, you are more than just one being. You are 2. You have your physical body, which is actually breathing for you, eating for you, and most times it actually is doing all the work for you. However, you have your higher mind, the one that is able to bring in clarity, that was the one that is able to bring in peace and abundance so you can understand and fully enjoy this wonderful time that we are living in right now. Yes, I'll say it. Now my hands on my hip, y'all. We are living in the time of Christ consciousness. There's no need to look to the right or look to the left for when Christ will be returning. Christ, the energy, Christ consciousness is here and is increasing in its potency. And so it's the great and dreadful day of the Lord, as is written about in Scripture. It's great if you understand what's taking place, and it's dreadful if you do not. So I'm going to be doing time to time. I'm going to be checking questions. If you have any questions, if you want to call in, 717-846-5067, or you can go ahead and place a comment down. I'll just stop everything that I'm doing and actually go and answer your question. What time is it? Revolution time. Let me get a little bit closer to the screen. Let's see how I look here. Make sure that I can be seen with this wonderful show. What does revolution mean? That means in order for us to make this successful transition, because this is a transition that, like I said, and I will repeat, this was written about in all the scriptures in your scrolls. The Mayans spoke about this in 2012. That was the key part to decide what timeline we were going to be entering in this particular time. Hint to the wise, it's a great one. However, in that, you also see that in the Quran, it speaks about the return of a Mahdi. What does that mean? And then, of course, individuals that have spent any time in sitting on that wonderful hard pew on Sundays and hearing the word speaketh unto you, at least the certain passages that they choose to share with you, you will understand that we are living in that new earth, new heaven and new earth. Christ consciousness is here and forever remaining. And so get on board. Revolution, like I said, the only way that we can actually change the world is how? I can't hear you. You change yourself. I think Michael Jackson actually came up with a song talking about man in the mirror. No, I'm not going to sing. I am a karaoke king, but I'm not going to do that at this particular time. But yes, you are that's at home right now. We all have flaws. Let's get out of that. Let's get that enemy, he that is enemy. Let's get that mentality out and understand that we are here to evolve into the higher expression of ourselves. So, if you're up on the upper track, if you're in the upper room, as I say, you already understand that you are a divine being and you do your due diligence to make sure you spread and shed your light everywhere that you go. You understand that you are an eternal being. When you lay your head down at night, you know that you actually get in contact with a larger portion of yourself, which is your higher self. That higher self, that higher mind is what is that key guiding force in your life. You can put any other type of names on it, but you understand that you are a spiritual awareness living a temporary physical expression. You are not a physical being that sometimes has spiritual experiences. Whether you go to sleep and have a spiritual experience, or you're feeling the Holy Ghost, or you're taking some ayahuasca or something like that. I never took none of that stuff, by the way. Understand that you are a tremendous energetical being and you can actually access whatever you want by utilizing the laws of attraction. And if I got some time, class, I'll go into the other 11 laws and principles of creation. But most of the one everybody kind of talks about, writes books about, called The Secret. As far as how to manifest and actually bring things into your life. You're in the upper room, you already know what I'm talking about. And I do a star seed salute to you. Those that's in the middle track, they're still trying to ascertain whether the information that you've been receiving through your ears from your parents, from your spiritual authorities, from your religious authorities, from your political authorities, I guess you want to call them. You're starting to question things. Starting to use the old noodle right now and understand that this is the temple of God. The temple who liveth within thee. So utilize this holy temple to discern what is taking place. And some of you all that you might be vibing with me. You understand? Yeah, your heart, for instance, your heart picks up on truth ASAP. The wonderful pulse of a frequency that actually initiates your torrential field, your ability to interact with the far reaches of space. That faint pulse that comes from your heart, utilizing the principles of quantum theory. Yes, you, little old you, have tremendous abilities to access the farthest reaches of the universe. Hence, that's what they call karma. Whatever you put out, you put back. But back to my people that are in the zone, the discernment zone, that doesn't really quite understand what's going on. This is the program for you. Yes, I will get you involved in understanding of what crystals are, meditation. We go into a myriad of wonderful ideas on this particular program, particularly what to eat, how to eat, your relationship between sound thinking and eating. We're going to talk a little bit about sea moss, shilajit, and just even fasting, things that you will not hear in your other type of programs that you're watching. So go ahead and go on YouTube, Ptah Shakur. You know how it's spelled. Utah with a P, Shakur like Tupac. See the plethora of videos that I've already put out that actually explains what's going on in very, 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 very detailed. I am an educator. I'm a spiritual guide channel. We're going to get into all that a little bit with my affirmation. But just want to give everybody a little bit of rundown. Gratitude. That is the quickest way to actually ascend the map of consciousness, what we're going into a little bit. But before I go into any further, if you want to go ahead and place a question to me, the number is 717-846-5067. Say it again slowly. 717-846-5067. Or I'm going to try to get to you, YouTube. I see you jumping over there. YouTube content creator. I am the greatest YouTube content creator that is on this here planet Earth. Why do I say that? I say that so I can actually live towards that. That's the standard that I'm looking to achieve. Shout out to all my YouTube subscribers. Remember, we are the new founding fathers of this creation, whether you want to know this or not. No longer will we be looking to those celebrities that's been placed before us to distract us. Whether it be in the music industry or whether it be in the movies and things. Our leaders are actually entertainers, folks. Think about that. Hollywood. Did you know Hollywood is actually the wood of the staff of Merlin, the magician? Yes, there was a person named Merlin. I know we fictionalize it with Disney cartoons and things. Yeah, there's an individual named Merlin, and his actually wood, those that understand about Celtic ruins and things of that nature, that's the magical ability to create illusions. And that's what Hollywood has done. And what? They made those same Hollywood stars into our leaders. But fret not. All those people, like I was saying in the upper room, this is our time. We are the new founding fathers of creation. I'm asking everybody to share, understand the divinity and to love yourself. You can't do nothing till you love yourself. Understand, know thyself, then you would know God. Know God, and then you would know thyself. So, all those that are on the slow bus, you've already changed the channel, or you're sitting right here like this. Nah, that's not what my book says. That's not what my pastor said to me. That's not what my imam said to me. Ha ha! Use your own discernment at every time. Remember it said in scripture, it said every tub shall sit on its own bottom. And in that, I'm bringing up some scripture. Remember what it says, the path to heaven is what? It's the path to hell is packed and paved with good intentions. However, the road to heaven seldom traveled. Wonder why that's so. So, if you like the content that I'm saying, go ahead on Ptah Shakur. Ptah Shakur on YouTube, see the plethora of videos, but I'm going to go right into it right now. So, affirmations. I always believe fervently that you start everything with affirmation. When you say I am, whatever you place behind that I am, you better get ready for what the universe is about to give to you. So we're going to be positive here. I am beautiful. I am powerful. I deserve money. I deserve riches. By you speaking in a positive manner, That's what you actually send out through your torrential field. And I mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. Yes, you have a torrential field that surrounds your body. Much like if you take an apple and you cut it sideways, did you actually see the shape that it particularly makes? That's the shape that you put out. And that's also the shape that our planet, coincidentally enough, has that same type of energetic field as well. So whatever you send out is definitely what you bring back into your life. So we want to make sure that we're speaking very, very positively. So who am I? I know my place in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I'm free. I am free. I am free. I'm in the upper room. God is, God is, God is. I, Ptah Shakur, I pledge to always look for the best in each and every circumstance and in each and every person, especially starting with myself. I come from love, I am love, and I choose to look at the world through the lens of love. I commit myself to choosing the upper room towards vibrating at the highest level possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. Behold, I make all things new. So that's the affirmation that I say to get me positively charged up to start my day. Feel free to write that down. In addition to that, I am an educator, researcher, channel, guide, Reiki practitioner, and a knower of all things positive, all things metaphysical, occult, everything you want to kind of put into that bag. Now, explaining myself a little bit. What is the purpose of this show? I'll explain to the person sounds just like me. The purpose of this particular program is to help explain some of the changes that are taking place and that will take place for anybody that wants to have a fighting chance to actually enter into a new state of peace that you will not find. I haven't found in too many other places. Shout out to content creators that are actually sharing what I'm sharing. We are few and far between. Like 85% of the world's population is under a trance, being misled. Sheep, as I believe it was referred to as in scripture. Then you have your 10%. These are individuals that understand these processes that actually affect human behavior. These 10% that understand the true nature of reality. They understand the true nature of us as being humans. But you're using it for your own advantage. Or they're using it to be very, very diabolical in their methods. And believe it or not, these individuals, their end game is closer than you think. Really, really close to you think. Shout out, like I said, if you want to go ahead and give a call in, vibe with me, the number 717-846-5067. Or you can give a call, get on the Facebook or the YouTube. And can I leave? What? Somebody said something on YouTube. They're asking to leave. Go ahead, you can leave out here if you want. I ain't going to hold you. Best believe. But let me have on the bottom of the screen there as far as the power of gratitude. If you're going through some harmful, hellish suffering in this particular world, you're doing something wrong. Yes, 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 yes. I know. Being in this particular earth, this third dimensional matrix that we live in, this is a tough school. From what's being shared from outsiders, shall we call them, this is one of the most toughest schools. I think I got a handful. I think they said 5 throughout the universe. This is one of the toughest schools to transcend out of. Why? For one, when we come to this school called Earth, you forget everything. Other places you don't. You could bring that accumulated knowledge with you. But in this particular existence, we come as babies. We actually are fully dependent on someone outside ourselves. People don't forgot how to eat, forgot how to walk, forgot all our particular motor skills. But in this world, since it didn't come with basic instructions, what they say the Bible, the basic instructions for leaving Earth, ha! That's a joke. We did not come with particular instructions at this particular time, and the ones who are actually controlling the world right now. I believe it's put also in scripture. I keep bringing up scripture. It says, born in sin and baptized in iniquity. That kind of lets you know from day one, you're not going to get the proper knowledge. If you choose to look outside of self as a way of guiding your inner light, you'll be in for some suffering until you realize that that is not the case. But as we move into this particular, we are growing up in this particular world, using these eyes and following along the patterns of what we see everyone else, we find ourselves going through what our society tells us. Our belief systems that were indoctrinated in us when we were youth. Like that famous one about hell being underneath your feet. 7 times the heat of the sun. I can feel the sun, particularly today. Can't feel the 7 times the heat under us. What does all that mean? What does it mean with the man with the red pitchfork that seemed to be walking around that his pitchfork ain't melt? We got to use some logic here, folks. We've been lied to. That fear has been, when you inject fear, like what you see in the media talking about these world wars, and all these cataclysms going on, if you can inject a steady dose, just a little bit, inject a steady dose of that fear into a person's system, it does wonders with them not understanding the divinity that's inside them. And once you shut off that divinity button, then you will not be able to manifest with the outside creation as the way you're supposed to. Get a pen and pad. I'm writing information down for you to check out later on. We're going to do some Bing or DuckDuckGo. We're not going to do Google because we don't want this information showing up on our social media pages. So what I have to share with you, proof. I'm dropping facts here, folks. Did mention I'm an educator. Did mention I'm a researcher, right? Hey, check me if you want to. Believe it or not, there's something called the double slit experiment. I see we flapping in and out of a White Rose community 16 and 18, but we still gonna roll. So if you Google, help myself. Good Lord, indoctrination. Boo boo boo. When you go to DuckDuckGo, which they're not sponsoring me at all, and type in double slit experiments, and what you will find is that scientists now are realizing, wait a second, we might need to actually rewrite these journals and these books and things, because what we're teaching our youth in the school district is not exactly right. What are they finding? I'll go ahead and answer it to you. What they are finding is that, yes, you and I, we have the ability, through the power of our observation, through the power of our awareness, through the power of our just being. I don't have to say anything. Just by purely just being, you affect the atoms that are in the room with you right now. Sounds spooky, don't it? That table, that chair, that other table, I ain't gonna go into it. You actually decide whether that collapses into a field of possibilities or it solidifies into the atomic structure, or what we call matter. Yes, you decide that. So, you want to find a video about that? Go to Ptah Shakur on YouTube to get a full understanding of the double slit experiments. This is not the time for this. This is the time to explain about gratitude and how gratitude is the quickest way to bring yourself up the map of consciousness, which I will have very, very shortly, to show you where you're at and how you can actually move up this map of consciousness. Because when you're at the top of the map, things become clearer to see. You no longer exist in the illusion of separation. You no longer, you start to shed. Like shedding skin. You know, like the snakes shed skin. You start to shed those belief systems. The belief systems that I mentioned that we were indoctrinated with, that are keeping us in a very, very low level experience, while other individuals are they living their life, folks. Gratitude is all about recognizing the good things in your life and the role that others play in those positive events. Don't forget that you got other individuals that had a part to play with your positive experience. They might not even be breathing anymore. Shout out to your ancestors and your descendants. Why I say descendants, I explain that another time. I had dealing with time, but I just, for this particular time, your ancestors. Your ancestors. How do you know your ancestors are speaking to you? Let me think. Or if you're noticing repeating numbers, that might sound like a little commercial here. Have you noticed 1111, 911, 417, or 417 in any type of order? Have you had ringing in your ears lately? That's my little Tucker Carlson. Also, have you also recognized your ability to precognition? Meaning, I knew that was going to happen. I should have played that number. I should have went on FanDuel. I ain't saying all that. However, if you're noticing that when you speak about someone, they might just call, pop up, or you might share a conversation with someone, and then the very next day, you're speaking to a whole total stranger. And you actually bring up randomly the same conversation that you was involved in. And it might continue for a couple of days straight. Yes, that means that you are awakening, you are enlivened to what's going on at this particular time. It's kind of hot in here. Excuse me. Gotta take a little fan break. This is the time that Jesus, yes, Yeshua, we're gonna say his name right out here, folks. Oh yeah. Yeshua actually shared, greater work shall ye do. Yes, he was saying about healing people. Jesus was a Reiki practitioner. When he talked about the things the miracles that he was able to bring sight to the blind, be able to change the physics of particular atoms and things, it was, oh my God, Jesus, you're just the greatest. You're better than Trump, Jesus. However, Jesus, what Jesus said? He said, greater work shall ye do. Why? Because that great, powerful, beautiful individual named Yeshua actually understood what was taking place, and when he came back to his hometown, here's a little hint, throwing it out kind of fast. Jesus, what happened to the 33 years? I think it was like, you know about when he was a young person, trying to kill him in the barn thing. I forget what it's called. Anyways, from his adolescence to age 30, where was he? I'll tell you, Jesus actually went to what we call Egypt, sat at the feet of the wonderful knowledge that actually built those particular societies down there. Then he hightailed it on to India, learned certain things about reincarnation, and then also went to, I believe it's Tibet, and actually learned about Reiki, and then came on back to his hometown, prodigal son return, sharing these wonderful gifts. And one of the things that Jesus was sharing is the ability to raise your consciousness. And as you raise your consciousness, you're able to understand and peek through the veil and actually bring in positive things into your life, such as gratitude. The good news about gratitude, it isn't difficult. You can set aside a few minutes of your day, like I mentioned, 5 minutes, and find out what you're thankful for. So, what does gratitude look like? Stopping to observe the beauty of nature. Some of you have already started to get your bodies has already started to make changes. And you're like, I don't know why, I just want to stare at the sunset. I don't know why, I just want to go out into nature. Just take a little bit of a walk and smell the tulips. I'm finding more interest in tulips, or even lower levels of density of life, which is like animals and plants. You're starting to understand the connectivity that you have with these pets or animals and these plants. You're starting to feel the oneness is starting to kind of roll on in. If you understand what I'm sharing right now, go ahead and put a comment. Call in if you want to, 717-846-5067. But believe it or not, you might have people in your friend zone that say, what? You want to go out and smell the tulips? Man, you better get in this car and get this reefer or weed or whatever in your hand and get these vapes. Yeah. Go ahead and hit these vapes and watch these Desperate Housewives. Man, this is what life is all about. Let's go out to the club and let's just spend exorbitant amounts of money on poison that is actually killing us. Let's live it up. Not that whole smelling the tulips type stuff. Walking around barefoot and demagnetizing. You best be able to listen to Ptah Shakur. Yeah, you must be a subscriber. Shout out to my subscribers out there. We are the new founding fathers of this creation. Go ahead and get a little flex on. This is our time. Go ahead and put a smile on your face. All my star seeds, all my indigo children, all my conspiracy theorists. Go ahead and conspiracy theorists. Let me give a round of applause for y'all right now, because man, y'all batting 1,000 right now. These new day conspiracy theory people on TikTok, I don't know. Some of that stuff is AI. You can't trust all of that. But the ones that's been doing their homework, doing their due diligence, and understand that, whoa, the information that's coming in through my ears, through this mass media, things that's coming from the White House, you might want to question a little bit of that. So, we're going to stay on topic here, folks. I see you out there, YouTube. I see you. What are you talking about? My God, that TikTok and all that, y'all be going places with that. Anywho, but understand, be thankful for your health. Woo! Lord, be thankful. If you got one leg, you can hop around. I'm not trying to be funny, for real. Be thankful that anybody who is pulling air right now, regardless if you're in prison, or if you're in if you're in a certain level, if you're in the Capitol building, which is the other prison, which is the worst prison. No matter where you at, no matter if you're in the bottom of the basement, just understand that being on this particular planet right now, breathing the air, or we're making this transition from the old earth to the new earth, man, don't you understand about 50 years from now, individuals going to be looking back and say, Grandpa, Grandma, what did you do during 2025, 2026, 2030? What side, I ain't gonna do that voice for too long, but what side of truth did you stand on? When we see our youth being wiped, having all their civilization and all their knowledge wiped from them, particularly if you're in the inner city. Some of y'all don't understand. I'm in my country club right now watching that. I don't understand what you're talking about. But if you're in the inner city of black and brown communities, you understand that the school system that we have set up, educational system is collapsing and crumbling. Our political system is collapsing and crumbling. Our financial systems are collapsing and crumbling. But put a smile on your face. You can't have life until you have death. And so when you find about this system that is corroding and falling apart, the sky's falling, ain't no need to panic. We're going to put a smile on our face. And for one, we're going to understand the power that we have in producing the world outside of our windows. What does that mean? When you go deepify in yourself, which I recommend everyone doing in this World War III. I'm not ignorant of what's going on. I know about Iran. I know about Israel. I know a little bit more about Iran and Israel than you may, believe it or not. However, in and all that, all of this fear tactic that are looking to try to make us so angry and so frustrated and so fearful, don't play into their hands. That's their end game. They can get us all riled up. Then those particular things will enter into our reality. But if we take a very stoic, hey, I'm just going to stay in my peace. Ptah Shakur said, I'm a universe in and of myself. Ptah Shakur said, the way that I actually operate my thoughts and make sure that I'm giving out positivity and love and light, I know love and light is coming back into me, because this is the re-love illusion time. We ain't got time for no war. We ain't talking about no war. We ain't going to have a whole meeting. We not going to be drama seekers and actually speaking that. No. We going to stay on some positive thing. I'm going to get back to what I'm saying. As far as being gratitude and being thankful, meditation or prayer, or focusing on giving thanks, it's very, very instrumental with operating in gratitude. So when you, and I'm going to go into the why. Okay, you're explaining gratitude. I'm going to go into the why and how that actually brings you up in the map of consciousness very, very shortly. But doing another kind thing for another person. Believe it or not, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The angels and these demons, they wear the same jersey. Where am I going with that? What I'm sharing is that the purpose of life is to evolve and move into much greater endeavors. Let me check my time here. 7:40, got 20 more minutes on this, but we're going to continue to 9 o'clock. Shout out to everybody that's paying attention right now. So, like I said before, the purpose of life is to evolve, to constantly do something new. Because, why? Change is the most unwanted thing in creation to the ego. But yet is the most consistent thing that you will ever find is change. You is not going to hold on to one thing or another. Because, believe it or not, if you're in a particular workplace and you're looking, you're at your job for 30 years, you're living in the same house, things of that nature, you have a mission in your life. I know you do. Some of you, some of the bots out there, maybe not so. Yeah, I said, not everybody on the same playing field. Some bots, man, the bots ain't even, they already turned the channel. They're not feeling me anyway. So you already can feel with your heart that the things that I'm sharing is true. What I'm sharing is this. When it's time for you to walk in your purpose, which is now, when it's time for you to walk into your highest excitement and actually get to fall in love with your higher self by getting involved with things that excite you. Not the things that were actually placed upon your lap because of this indoctrination and these belief systems that are actually put before us. That you got to go to college, you got to get a good job, you got to get a wife, you got to have 2.4 children, you got to get the picket fence, you got to have the side piece, you got to go get drunk every weekend and all that. You'll do that. That's fine, that's fun, you do all that. Then you get into the age 30 or so and you start to have what they call a midlife crisis. Yeah. The midlife crisis is something that actually you say, wait a second. That's when your higher self just chooses, excuse me. What are you doing? Man, I got an epiphany. I have the angels speak to me and they showed me my purpose of what I was supposed to do. Really quick, really profound and really quick thought comes to you. Man, I'm supposed to be doing this. Man, look where I'm at. And you might find yourself, oh man, in order for me to get from here to there, oh my goodness, that's a heck of a walk. And then you start to get a little sad inside when you realize that in order for you to walk in your purpose, you might have to leave your significant other that you're with. You might have to move out of your city that you've been living in. You may have to leave your particular job. And these are very fearful times when you're getting pushed. Oh, can't leave my job. Who knows, another tariff might take place. So you're trapped. Gotcha. You are no longer operating in the mission and purpose that you agreed to before you came into this physical earth school. And then what? You just, back to the bargain, back to the foolishness. You find yourself involved with that. And you can continue to go down that path, road paved with good intentions, or you can choose to put your feet in the sand and stand on your 10 toes and say, this is the energy that I'm going into because this is my purpose. This is the reason why I've been put here on the planet. And I know that when I shine my light and follow my highest excitement, I will start to shine like a light. And as I shine my light, I give permission to others around me to shine their light, and we do what we can to actually change this, kickstart this viral catalyst, and this mass consciousness will awake, and we will enter into this new peaceful world, which was promised to us in these scriptures and the scrolls. It is your birthright to walk into that. And so as we evolve and become more aware, we actually go towards that particular energy. Other than you just stay in your suffering, you stay on your lower level of experience. It's up to you. Every tough shot can sit on his own body. I want to make a mention. Shout out to my YouTubers over here. I can't read. I don't got my glasses on. Shout out to Facebook. I don't know why we not white on right roads, but it's all good. We're just vibing it anyway. So that's the idea that I want to go into real quick. Little boo-boo to check the time here. Got some time anyway. So what I'm going to do on my next screen, and as you can see on your screen, let me check. You see how the plethora of my videos that I actually put up on Facebook already. Please check that out. I delved into one of them, went into gratitude a little bit. as well as the one in the top left corner. Let me see. Am I pointing at, it's a little bit of a delay. I think I'm pointing at the wrong spot. I might look kind of idiotic doing this. Let me take a pause for the calls. Everybody get a pen and pad. Hey, I got it right. Cool. On this particular video here, I actually spoke about Nostradamus, as you see there, Edgar Cayce, which is called the sleeping prophet. These are this particular Bashar, this individual here. It basically goes into channelers and your ability. Yes, you have the ability to heal yourself. You don't have to go to somebody to become a healer. Once you become aware enough, you can heal yourself. I can heal myself. I'm being serious. And so if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not more special than you. Also, we talk about channelers' ability to bring high frequency information. You might say, this sounds foolishness, Ptah. But then you realize in the revelation was who wrote. Come on now. Get your words together, Phil. Ptah. Say my name. Having fun out here. So, the Revelator, John the Revelator, was also a channel. So, another individual saw that also spoke about the change that we're having between, so here, the switch between the third dimensional Earth to what we call the fifth dimensional Earth. So yeah, this is taking place. Your inside of your body is being transitioned right now. I'll be right back, YouTube. I gotta flip my screen here. Oh my gummy bears! Yeah, knock the screen on. Hope everything's right. All right. So I'm just going to switch my screen here. Boom. 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 Here we go. Set the camera back up. Good Lord, keep falling, tripping over things. Am I back? There we go. Map of consciousness, folks. You might ask, how does that relate? He was just talking about gratitude. Well, if you look kind of closely, we're just going to go over this map of consciousness. Now, we're going to start at the very bottom, and I'm going to use my little, since I'm not on that screen here, I got to use my my phone as a little bit of a guide. You'll find that there's different, and we're going to start with the lower end of it. We don't have the full map of consciousness. What I did was just did the lower realm. We're going to talk about the lower emotions, and then we're going to build up higher. So what you find, this is what's called the, make sure I'm pointing to the right place, survival paradigm. These is the paradigm that are the elites of this world want us to, is my right hand? Yeah, over here. Survival paradigm. These are the individuals that's in our society that want to keep raising the prices of everything. They keep wanting to do the shrinkflation. They want to slightly bring up the minimum wage, if anything, like once every 20 years. But meanwhile, the prices of everything is increasing every single year. So now it becomes more of a survival mentality. They pack us all into one particular area so we can vie and fight one another because, believe it or not, separation. If you can get individuals to fight against themselves, then they're easily controlled. So, and that's the illusion, like I was saying, the illusion of separation. So you find that the lower realm of this survival paradigm, and I apologize, I got my little cursor back and I'm blocking it. You'll find shame. Shame is at the lowest level. Energetically, it's called 20 on the energetical log rating system. It goes from 20 up to 1,000. That's the range we're talking about. 20 to 1,000. So you got your shame, you got your guilt, you got your apathy, you got your grief. We just want to stay right there. Yes, we've all experienced things in our life, very, very tragic things in our life. Things that are very destructive. We might even say downright evil. So these are the emotional state you might be in is like humiliation. You might feel kind of affected by what's going on around you. It kind of drops you to your lowest level. When you're in the lower level of this humiliation, this blame, this regret, this despair, how do you get out of that? Through gratitude. finding one thing that you find to be very, very appreciative of. Whether it is your health, even do some smaller things. You might have terrible health. You can find things every single day. It could either be a perfectly placed stop sign. It might be a perfectly placed speed bump. It might just be the printout on your receipt when you go to Piggly Wiggly's. It says, thank you for your patronage as you take your money out of the community. Just something simple as that, to find something that is of the higher frequency. And when you do that, you'll come out of what they call force. Now, but mind you, I should have started with this. I apologize. This particular map of consciousness was designed by a man named David R. Hawkins. David R. Hawkins was one of the practitioners of what's called kinesiology. I told you to write it down, kinesiology. Hopefully the subtitles spell it out properly. I don't know, but you can go ahead and check it yourself. So these are basically our human body has the ability to resonate with a certain level of truth or a certain amount of falsehood. If you're operating in falsehood energetically because of your state of mind and being, you will cease to connect with this outside world. Yeah, I mentioned it to you. As far as your ability to actually interact with the universe and bring in and manifest whatever you want, whether it be a car, whether it be riches, whether it be a woman, whatever it is that you have in your mind, you can close your eyes if you can see it inside of your mind. It exists somewhere, and you can actually bring that existence into your life if you're above a certain level of the map of consciousness. You might just say, oh, I don't know about that, Ptah. I've been asking for that man of my dreams for 30 years. I've been trying to get me a car for 20 years. And I'm still walking. Or I've been trying to get a new car and I'm stuck in this same piece of whatever. Doesn't make any sense, Ptah. And this is what I always retort and say back to you. Are you really focusing on what you want? Or are you focusing on what you don't want? Understand this, if the universe had ears, it would respond. And the universe does respond. You don't have to be special or born from a special race or have a special insignia on your chest. You have the God-given right to receive whatever it is that you're focusing on, and you're getting just that. What do I mean? If you're in a relationship with a person, and you might pray out in your form of prayer, or you're speaking out to the universe or what have you, and say, Lord, bring me the man of my dreams. I want him tall, dark, and handsome. Because the man that I'm with is short, light, and ugly. He does this and does that. He picks his toes. He never takes out the trash. So whatever. So now the universe was listening at first. Okay, what? They want somebody else coming in their life for about a good 5 seconds. I want a man that's tall, dark, and handsome. And then for the rest of the conversation, we talk about what it is that we are experiencing that we don't want. The more we talk about what we don't want, the more you're going to keep experiencing what you don't want. And you might just say, oh, okay, God is not, Lord must not be listening to me. God try to call him on the main line. Guess the phone, guess he ain't paid the bill. So then you start to doubt things. You start to doubt individuals around you. But really what you need to focus on is focusing on what you want and understanding that your universe only brings to you what you're focused on. I say this before, as my time as an educator, we had mass youth shootings. Who doesn't in America nowadays, right? Very, very tragic. Individuals like myself, we believe that the youth that are walking this place on the earth right now are some of the most angelic, beautiful souls that have ever existed. And so we're doing our due diligence to unlock them. But until that time being, you still have these little little rashes of incidents, individuals killing youth. So at this one particular time, there's a youth that shot another youth right after school, ran after school program, heard about it, schools was shut down and all of that. So as everybody started to file in to our particular after school program, first thing first, the first thing is I led them with an affirmation. Yes. Get your youth together and actually go through the affirmations similar to the one that I shared in the beginning of my broadcast, to actually get them to look at life in a positive manner by speaking nothing but positivity during this affirmation, aka it's called a I forget what it's called. Basically, the idea is Harambe. Swahili for all together now is called Harambe. Harambe is a form of an affirmation. So go ahead and go Harambe. But back to what I'm saying. So the youth will come in, and of course everybody was just talking about the shooting that took place, and oh my God, I think I seen some blood over there, and somebody was there, and they seen it, and they ran, and blah blah blah, boo boo boo, and a whole myriad of conversation geared around this shooting. And so when I stopped everybody in their chat, I said, hold up. I said, what I want everybody to do at this particular moment, and I told them to close their eyes. Because when you close your eyes, you automatically shut off 95% of the information that's flowing to you. So you can start focusing on what's going on inside of you. So I had the individuals close their eyes, and I said, I want you to visualize the power of imagination. Your superpower, that and your memories, is your superpower. You never grown out of that. You just put it down because you were living in a world that you thought you didn't need it. Meanwhile, the elites use it. So I told them to close their eyes, and I told them to imagine the most positive, or the thing that they like most about the city that I live in, which is in York, Pennsylvania. We'll go into that, the purpose of York, at another time. Very powerful place here. So y'all said imagine it could be your school, it could be your bed, it could be your mom, it could be your granddad, it could be your store, some ice cream, I don't know. Whatever your favorite thing about the city, I want you to think about that. So they visualized it, and I said, I want you to visualize a white, beautiful, perfect light that just surrounds this particular visual image that you have into your mind. So while they imagine this, using the power of imagination, imagine what it is, a bowl of ice cream or a store or whatever, their bed, and then imagine this white, beautiful light surrounding you. I said, okay, so now, and I told everybody to do the deep breaths, 4, 4, 8. Breathe into the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 4. Breathe into the count of 4, hold to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 8. And so I asked them, this is how we pray for our city. And I told them to think about the parents of the individual, the young person that was actually passed. Of course, they don't know who the parent is. So this idea of what the parent or the school that this particular person actually came from, and just imagining a very peaceful, beautiful light surrounding their school, surrounding their parents, surrounding all the people that are negatively affected by this tragedy. That is how you heal your community. And so with that, we can find ourselves based off of our mentality. And like I mentioned, if you're under the level of pride, which is 175, you see right here, you are operating in what is called force. You're trying to push things and you're trying to make things happen in your life, but you just seem to be spinning wheels or actually going backwards. You're trying to make things happen instead of being and operating with the universe and making things manifest for you. So, moving on, grooving on, looking at my time right here. And like I said, this is a 2-hour special. I'm going to stay right here, stay firmly planted right here. So if you want to, please share this information with people that you love, people that you care about. You're not going to hear this information nowhere else, I promise you. So once you move up, and this is what I say, when you're in the lower realm of the, like Steve Carnegie right now, when you're in the lower realm of this this energy, such as the grief, the apathy, the guilt, then you find yourself rising up. You find yourself rising up into fear, desire, craving, anxiety. Yes, anxiety is better than depression. For all those individuals out there that understand what those depression is. Shout out to all my light workers, all my angelic souls, all my healers. Understand this. If you're a healer in this day and time, you've already been to hell. You've already been broken and beaten and abused and picked on and abused and bullied and things of that nature. And you, yes you, through the help of your ancestors and the help of your divine guides, have rebuilt and healed thyself. Now hence we have the key crucial components that is necessary to heal others. And so We've all been down here, just to believe. We've been in the lower realm, but understand this, that when you're coming out of depression, hopelessness, and then you move up into anger, wait a second. Am I saying what I think I'm saying? Yes, I am. I'm saying that, yes, it's better to be angry than to be depressed. You may have found other people, you're so sad about your life, and then you get to a point where you just angry, you just want to do something. The first thing, everybody just gather around. Now you got everybody's attention. When you was sad and depressed, everybody kind of looked at you like, oh, okay, well, figure it out. Good luck. Call me if you need me. As soon as you operate in anger, you know what? Now you're feeling energy, or you're calling energy. You don't know exactly where to put it, but you got energy right now. And in this society, what are we taught to do? Push you back down. Oh man, you can't be angry. No, angry's not right. You're doing something wrong. So then you start running it through your belief system and say, man, this is not the Christian thing to do. I guess I gotta figure something else out. And if you don't have any other outlets, you don't have any other ideas of where to go with your energy, what you do? You just give it up and you just go back into the cellar. I always wanted to do this on TV, by the way. Oh, my knees hurt. I gotta train for that. So you find yourself back into that low level. So yes, being angry, revenge, I just want to do something. That is better than being sad. In this society, they rather us be sad than to be angry and indignant and actually call for change. So then when you get up, now I'm going to give you a little example. Individuals that are operating in, let's say, grief. You lost a loved one in your life. Very sad experience. However, you may have a certain view of your life, and this is what goes on in the section there where it says, I actually got that part kind of cut off, but if you look at this first level where it says pride, what was I doing? I was dealing with grief. You see grief, you see a number. The next one you see an emotional state, which is regret. Now the next thing over, the next column is called your view of life. This is how you see your life. So if you see your life as a tragic life, my life is terrible. This happened to me when I was young, and I'm cursed. I was at a wonderful conversation. Shout out to the guys on the men's mental health walk. Do a men's mental health walk every Sunday at 9 a.m. leaving from Penn Park here in York, Pennsylvania. So the guy I was talking to, shout out to him. Please, I ain't gonna say his name. Mentioned something. I was talking about the community and everything. He said, yeah, we're cursed. No, we're not cursed. No. Don't include we into none of that. Understanding that we live our life, your perspective of your life that's your situation. And instead of saying things like that, if you have a mentality of tragicness, my life is tragic. My mom's life was tragic. Tragic things happened to my aunt. Tragic things happened to my cousin. Tragic things happened to my brother. Tragedy. And as you walk, and you're walking around the streets that you're walking in, you see broken windows and littered floors, and everybody you know is operating in a level of tragedy. It's very, very understandable to resonate with the certain frequency of, okay, well, I guess that's what this God must have been. I must have pulled the tragic card. No. Throw those cards in the trash. Understand that you are a divine being. You actually manifest what it is that you have in your mind and what you focus on. So let's focus on the greatest. You are a powerful being. If you're listening to hear the sound of my voice right now, I love you. Why do I love you? I love you because I love myself. And you can't love another person in reality until you love yourself. And so if you find yourself in a hopeless, tragic, despair type of mentality, that is your view of life. And then it goes one step further. Oh, I got some good stuff. I hope you're taking notes. The next column over is called God view. This is how you think God views you. And for all those that are living in the idea of a tragic, hopeless, life is hopeless, life is tragic, life is miserable, life is full of evil people. I got some people on my Facebook, and every time they just put a quote in, oh, these people are evil, these people are stupid, these people... Okay, well-meaning people, let them get it out the system. Okay, let's bring that vibration up just a titty tad. You really can't bust out to people and just tell them that separation is nothing but the illusion. You can't give steak to children. You got to give them a little applesauce and things of that nature. So, a little spoonful of applesauce here. So if you find yourself, everyone being evil and tragic and hopeless, this is how you think God sees things. You think God is despicable, vindictive. You think God is condemning. No, you can't do that. You think God is disdainful. Look at that. What will cause us to believe such foolishness? It's part of the religious indoctrination that we have, of course, which says God is a vengeful God. God wants to go ahead. If you don't do what God says, kill them all. Instead of Noah and the ark? These are stories. They didn't happen the way that you think. These are stories that keep you indoctrinated. These stories that say, oh, if I don't do certain things, God's going to get mad at me. And he's going to throw a curse at me. And you're just shivering. Oh, my beautiful, beautiful people that are living out there. If you can realize the reality of what is taking place, the reality of life, the reality of who you are, you would no longer get caught up in these low vibrational things. Let's move it up. I'm starting to get the willies. Let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about something a little bit of a higher vibe. This is up, still in the survival paradigm. But now, if you find yourself coming out of regret, despair, blame, tragic, hopefulness, evil, because of your view of how you think God sees you, let's just tweak that a little bit. Let's imagine. Imagine, for instance, we're going to skip. Imagine that God is merciful. Imagine that God is understanding. And say, okay, well, this individual, he or she is not operating in the way that they're supposed to, which is shining their light, being abundant life, and experiencing things in this school that we're living in. However, imagine this God was wise and realized, okay, I knew this. I'm God. You don't think I knew about all these different tragic things? You don't think I knew about Netanyahu? You didn't think I knew about the slavery trade? You don't think I knew about war and pestilence? You didn't think God knows? You don't think? Maybe you are. Maybe you think, God already knows this and already calculated in that. And so the troubles that you go in your life, the ways that you fall short in the eyes of the Lord, as you can say, you understand, you know what? God he's not going to come down on me. He's not going to cast me into that hell that's 7 times the heat of the sun, even though I can feel the sun 93 million miles away, but I can't feel none of my feet. And I got sandals on, folks. Think about it. So it's all about how you perceive what God is. And like it says, know thyself, know God. Know God, know thyself. So you start to realize, okay, well, maybe God is wise. And maybe, then how does that change your life? Instead of seeing your life as tragic, hopeful, and evil, you start to think, you know what, I think my life has purpose. I think I'm here for a reason. Yeah. I'm starting to feel it. Starting to feel it in my bones. And when you start to feel that your life has a purpose, then you start to have more understanding of the things that you go through in your life. The obstacles, the individuals that we've been giving all of our power to, that's been being obstacles in our life, whether it be co-workers at your job. Every time I go to work, this co-worker is just always, trying to bring my energy down and always bringing my energy down. But you know what? I've been allowing that person to bring my energy down. I came to that epiphany because I realized that God is wise and my life is meaningful. So if God is wise and my life is meaningful, then that means everything in my life is meaningful. Meaning that individual that's sitting across from me, that's being this constant aggravation, this constant obstacle in my life, maybe they have a purpose too. Maybe their purpose is to dissuade me or distract me. And maybe this is the school that I'm living in, and I have to learn to respond differently for that person. This is a little test for you all. If you're already feeling me in your heart chakra right now, go to Ptah Shakur, like, subscribe, send this to individual. But if you feeling what I just said with you right now, and you understand that, you say, okay, Ptah Shakur is saying that if I see, I'm not going to tell you how to see God. I'm not going to sit here and do that. Because it's all up to you. If you see God as wise, if you see your life is meaningful, if you see individuals around you as meaningful, then you start to understand that the only way that I will never walk out of my peace, become aggravated, get my heart pressure all jacked up, is because I'm allowing that person to push me to a state of aggravation. They're not going to stop. I tell you, there's bots out here, folks. We're all not players in the game. You got some bots. And this particular bot is pressing your button, and then you say, okay, well, let me respond differently to this bot. So when you go to your workplace and you meet that irritating individual, a lot of them is in your family. Woo! So when you come up to your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, or whatever, you take the information that Ptah's sharing with you right now and you incorporate it with that breathing 448. Because when you walk in the door, when you come for a Thanksgiving dinner, and they start with that same old bullish, you say, you know what? Let's do two more. You take a couple deep breaths. Now you don't want to take 3 because everybody's looking at you like you're crazy. Just take 1 deep breath. Because you've been practicing. You know how to get to that state quickly because you've been practicing. Then you start to respond differently to that person. And instead of falling for that trick and then being involved with the same old negative conversation, the same old negative behaviors, you'll do something new. You do something different, which is the purpose of creation, by the way. And as you do something new and certain different, that individual that come to you saying all that foolishness, you don't say nothing to him. You just look at him. And you might just say these words. I am not going to validate what you say with a response. Have a good day. And then you change your mentality. Change how you interact with difficult people in your life. You see that they just disappear. Poof. Wait. I just lied to you. They're not going to disappear. They're going to leave for a time. And they're going to come back to test you. To see if you're really, truly a changed individual. You're going to get tested. Everybody gets tested. But understand this. Reality does not work in circles. Reality works in spirals. So depending on your perspective, you see yourself growing and changing. Yes, you may fall victim to it a little bit. They'll just keep on saying stuff. Yeah, you're just like your daddy. He always does this. Ooh. You're doing the breathing. And you might fall into it at the very end. You might say something crazy. Oh, that's why blah, 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 blah. Oh, man, shouldn't have said that. Then you wait till next Thanksgiving. Or next time you come to work. It's okay. Let me do what Ptah says and just complete the idea. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to dignify that with a response. So hence, that problem will cease to exist. It would no longer be in your radar. That individual would no longer visit you. Those situations will no longer plague you. All because of the change in your particular thinking. So let me just finish this. So, now as you move up from the lower end of, like I said, seeing life as being vengeful, indifferent, scornful, hate, anger. Once you pass that threshold, and I'm going to change my TV screen in just one small moment. When you get to the level where it says courage. Courage, 200. And so the emotional state is that of affirmation. Instead, you start to see God view as permitting. Meaning this, you start to see God, you know what? God God is abundant. God allows me to do whatever I need to do. I am feeling free. I'm feeling free. God is, God is, God is. Then you start to operate in what's called force. You just stepped over the threshold, folks. Congratulations for everybody who's vibrating on this particular level. The level above 200, which is 200 to neutrality, 310 willingness, 350 acceptance, and reason. We're involved what's called reason and integrity. Once you cross that threshold into reason and integrity, you will find your life becomes much easier. You will find that drama no longer follows you. Those individuals those vampires that you previously allowed to suck and utilize your energy, they find they can't get no blood from you. So what they do, they'll just scramble and go find somebody else. This is a big world, folks. They'll find somebody else, trust and believe. So then you start to see life a little bit differently. You start noticing those tulips. You start noticing the sunset a little bit. You start to go into what they call the fourth and fifth dimension. The dimension of understanding your connectivity to everything. To all life that's around you. You start to understand. You start to experience those ringing in your ears. Those repeating numbers. The precognition abilities and more latent abilities will start to express as you move up this level of consciousness. I got one more slide to share. This is the upper end of the map of consciousness. Let me go ahead and edit. Oops, that's not it. Get out of here. Let's go bring it to the front. Top there. Here we go. So, let me walk around this way because I no longer want to trip on things. So, as you move up this particular paradigm, this is the emotions that you will feel. You will feel the emotions of understanding, forgiveness, optimism. Optimism, forgiveness, trust, affirmation. You start to view your life as meaningful, like I mentioned before, harmonious, coincidences. Instead of having those negative coincidences where we say, oh man, I just knew all these people are going to get laid off. They're just sitting there in the back. I'm going to get laid off. I knew I was going to get laid off. I knew if all the cars is going to get hit with some bird droppings, yeah, you know, you got to be mine. So you experience those coincidences, those negative coincidences, but now because you started to change your mental frequency, you start to experience positive things. You start to get in contact with people that are looking to help your endeavors and just, hey, what are you doing? That's your mission and goal. You find out what your mission and your goal is because you understand that life is meaningful and God is wise. They want to come and help you achieve those particular ideas. You'll find money on the street. You'll come into positive coincidences, what they call luck. There's no such thing as luck. You make your luck. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a little quick tangent. There's an individual that's on YouTube right now. There's a video that I've seen, but she's old. I think she might have just passed, honestly. This woman is old. And I think she's like 60 years old. I don't know. And I apologize if anybody's listening right now. Oh, 68, old. Save the hate mail. But however, she's seasoned. And she has this process called SPEC. S as in Sam, P as in Ptah, E as in enlightenment, and C as in camel or something. So SPEC, that means select it, project it, expect it, collect it. So I might do a little program on it, but just real briefly for those who are watching right now. So when you select things, you find out whatever it is that you want to do. You select it in your mind. You know what I want to do? I want to build a birdhouse. I'm going to help the homeless. Whatever it is that you want to do, you select it in your mind. And the next thing you do is project it. And this is where I might cause a little bit of trepidation out there. What do you mean, Ptah? I mean, as far as to project it, yes, you can project it with the people that you find in your success team. These are people that actually want the best from out of you. Not those ones when you mentioned that you was going to change your diet and start eating more healthier alternatives and actually going to smell the tiptoeing through the tulips. Not the ones who laugh and scoff at you. Like, man, you better hit this vape pen. You better go ahead to this club with me. Not them. Not those people. You're going to find yourself having more friction with those particular people. If you actually project your dreams and visions to them, oh, they're going to shoot it dead. They're going to shoot it dead in the ground. But if you have individuals in your success team that care about you awakening and evolving to the highest version of yourself, share with them. Share with your dreams. Share your visions with these individuals. And there's another form too. If you don't have anyone in your friend circle, check me out. I'll be your friend. I'm kind of busy, but I'll give you some time. What you want to do, and if you don't have another individual outside yourself, we call it reflection, what you want to do is what's called a vision board. Vision board is where you take something that is similar to what it is, that the idea that you have in your mind. You cut it out, piece of paper, glue it onto a piece of construction paper and put it up in your room. Or just some little Post-it notes. Some people actually say they do that. Whatever their dream or vision or something that is of a high level of excitement or actually gets them to emote a lot of positive vibrations or something that, I want to do this. I'm going to start a home for the blind. I'm going to teach the blind how to play instruments. Whatever it is, write it down. Put it on your sticky notes. So when you get involved in this day, you're going to your rat race job, you got your head down, you're digging, you're being a great little slave for those 1%ers. You can still go home when you get your orange juice, open and say, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be on tap. I need to be locked in to make sure that I bring this school for blind students or whatever. So that's a form of projection. Select the vision that you want, project it with people that's in your positive sphere, or just have it around your abode, and then you expect it. This is what was key. Expect it. Meaning that you understand that you demand, the best form of prayer is you demand what it is that you want, because you know that you are a powerful co-creator in existence. You have co-creating abilities, like I mentioned before with the double slit theory. You're able to bring anything that you want to bring in, whether it be right or wrong, if you want to go on judging, like I said, illusion of separation, whatever it is, right or wrong. Whether it be a nuclear bomb, whether it be the most despicable thing on the planet, the universe will not limit you. So whatever it is that you bring into your mind, you know that you're going to get it. And so what you do, you quietly expect it. You say, okay, you just put it in the back of your mind. And there's also a very powerful book. I don't know if I got time to go into it right now. It's called Ask and It's Given. And in that book, it actually has a myriad of different exercises to do to bring up your level of consciousness. And one is called the Wouldn't It Be Nice game. You can say, wouldn't it be nice if I received a check in the mail that actually helps me to go in motion to actually bring about this school to help blind people how to play instruments? Wouldn't it be nice if I would meet an individual that already has experience in that particular area that can actually show me how to write grants and things of that nature? Wouldn't it be nice? By having that wouldn't it be nice mentality, and when you step out in your next day and you realize, I'm looking for my gift. There's a gift out there waiting for me, and I know because Ptah Shakur said it. Because before I woke up in the morning, I actually was thinking about this because I went and got my orange juice. I got reminded about this school for blind students. And so when you quietly expect it, you put it in the back of your mind, not in the front. You don't want to keep on expressing what it is that you want. This is the key thing. If you want to manifest something in your life, do not keep asking for it. You want to, in the form of prayer, you want to pray to God, you want to pray to the archangels, you want to pray to Mother Mary, or whomever. Set it and forget it. In the construction world, they say measure twice, cut once. But by constantly putting in and trying to project, oh, I want this in my life, oh, I want this in my life, you constantly putting that out, it really repeats back to you your ungenuineness and unsurety and certainty that whatever that is yours by right. So you won't receive what it is if you constantly keep knocking the door. You keep asking the angels, keep asking God, remember me? God, hey, did you forget? I asked you yesterday. I'll ask you again tomorrow. I'll keep asking. You don't want to do that. You want to quietly expect it and walk about your day, and it will make its appearance to you. So then it comes to that very, very last part of spec, as we talk about the map of consciousness in relation to it. Collect it. Collect it, put it in your pocket, and move on. So select it, project it, expect it, collect it. This is a woman that's on YouTube. She's won every single entry that she's ever been a part of. I guess I should have led with that. Whether it be sweepstakes, surveys, prizes, lottery, scratch-offs, Powerball. She exists. I had time, I would show you on my phone, but I told you to take notes. Review this video, go back to it. So, believe it or not, by having those, there's individuals that are on this upper level of consciousness. They know how to manifest these certain things. This is why this is not taught in school. Because just like that dollar bill, you turn a dollar bill and you turn it on the back side, you see that capstone that has the eye in it. The eye of Horus, as they say. That particular eye is in equation to knowledge. And if you notice that eye that's on that capstone of the pyramid, like why is there pyramids and all these type of things on the dollar bill? Like really? You're separated by thousands of years. What is it about the Egyptian Kemetic knowledge that is so instrumental with the building and the framework of the United States? But if you look at that pyramid that says Novus Ordo Selectum, New Order World, woo! You understand that capstone is separated from the rest of the body of the pyramid, meaning there's individuals at the top echelon that understand everything that I'm saying. Ooh, I forgot to say this and I get back. I would never hurt myself. I would never kill myself. I'm a happily family man. I'm a man about my community, and I'm an excellent driver. Yes, I say all that to keep those crosshairs off me because I'm sharing life-giving information to you. Other individuals lost their lives off of some of the information that I have shared already. If you would go to YouTube, you will see some of the things that I say. It might sound kind of blasphemous. Hey, understand this is peer-reviewed science as well as this is an educator and researcher sharing this information. Go ahead and call me. Go ahead and put some comments down there. If you doubt me, go ahead and please test me. So, anyways, selected, projected, expected, collected. These are ways of individuals that know how to manifest and bring this wonderfulness into the world. And they're reviving. I'll give you one more example. Bill Gates. Oh, yeah, I'm getting myself in trouble now. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the same ones that are putting vaccines into the lettuce, the same ones that are buying up all of the majority of the crops and looking to do some genetically modified organisms. Those individuals, those elitists, the ones that are doing their due diligence to pressure lobbyists with those vaccines and things that have a very, very difficult decision with these multiple billions of people on the planet. The planet is not designed to hold so many people, so they have some difficult things to do. I understand. And a lot of us are getting caught up in that infertility as well as just downright, I'm going to say assassination, genocides that is taking place. Stay tuned. Reach out Ptah Shakur. Go to YouTube, Ptah Shakur. You get on it. I'm not trying to get myself in trouble, but I'm here sharing knowledge that the elitists don't want you to know. Why? It's not because it's bound and hidden into the books of the Vatican, which some of them it is, but they're using this, using the same knowledge and wisdom that I'm sharing with you to keep us in a trance-like state, unaware of the divinity that is actually trying to break through out of our chest right now. So they don't like me too much, but I know you and I do. If I can reach just one, it was actually stated that I will walk up, and I would. I might not walk, I might get an e-bike, but I will walk up a mountain, eat rattlesnakes, just to save one. Because one individual that's hear the sound of my voice, understand you are a powerful, interdimensional being. You are not a drop of the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. You are a fractal of creation. And so with the lowest part of the fractal can do exactly what the highest, largest part of the fractal. You are an interdimensional being. When you lay down at night, the greatest portion of yourself, you go ahead and visit it. You travel around the universe. And then when you come into this third dimensional matrix school, you remember nothing. However, that time is changing. The veil will be shifted shortly as we move into this wonderful Christ consciousness, this new energy, this new earth that we're moving into right now. It's going to be clear and abundant very, very shortly. Anybody who's breathing air right now, I'm going to say this again. I come in with gratitude, which is one of the purposes that we first started on, and I will recircle back before I leave out. Gratitude. I'm appreciated of anybody who's spent this time, all my YouTube subscribers, anyone who's watching this right now, understand you are a divine being. And this is the great and dreadful day. So it's great if you understand what's going on. It's dreadful though. So we're going to stick to some more positivity type stuff. So anybody who is operating and they start to see their life as meaningful, harmonious, and hopeful, understand it's because you see that God thinks that you are. You see God as, shall I say, you see God as wise. You see God as merciful. You see God as permitting and enabling. And so when we move up the highest realms on the calibrated level of consciousness, go ahead and go, Dr. Hawkins, Dr. R. Hawkins, the book called Power versus Force. Now you're fully in the force. Now I told you in the lower realms, you're in the force. So you really can't make things happen. You do 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's like trying to grab onto a paper kite or something. Every time you come with so much energy, you basically force away whatever that you're trying to get, and you will not be successful in it. Only by changing your mind and your frequency, then you're able to go up certain levels out of the survival paradigm into reason and integrity, and you're fully inside of what's called power. You are in power. It's a sea of electromagnetic energy that's just coursing through you. And if you're operating in your very, very subtle meditation state, you might be able to feel it a little bit. When you understand the oneness and you go into the 5th dimension, you start to feel this electromagnetic energy and you start to direct it in wherever you want it to go, and it brings you whatever you want it to bring you by utilizing that torrential field that you have to bring about everything into your creation. But as we move up into the highest levels of map of consciousness, which is called spiritual paradigm. Now, and this is the level from 500, which is love, 540, joy, 600, peace, and then from 7 to 1,000 is enlightenment. Now, if you look very, very closely, if you start on the map of consciousness, you see that they're separated by the survival paradigm is separated. The lowest in shame up to grief is only 45-point jump. So then when you look the other realm, from fear to pride, which is a 4 emotional jump, why is it 75? So 40, 75, okay, 40, 75. Then when you move into reasoning and integrity, you see that the separating point between courage and reason is 200 points. So you got 40, 75, 200. But now mentioning enlightenment is a level of 700 to 1,000. Just the upper end of consciousness, there's a lot of variation in that particular. So we're going to go to the highest. At the very top, let me make sure that I'm looking here. At the very top of these enlightenment, this is where you find your Jesus, aka Yeshua. This is where you find your Buddhas. This is where you find your Krishnas. This is where you find your avatars. These are individuals that are fully realized, cognitive, co-creating gods that actually manifest whatever they want into their lives, and they have full understanding. Vishnu, all those in that particular realm. But we're going to take our time. We're going to start with at the level of, oh, let me use my phone, I can see. At level 500, which is love. So just as I explained to you in the very, very beginning, to use gratitude to get you out of these lower levels of suffering and fear and despair and hopelessness and tragicness and disappointment and pessimism and anger, to get out of those particular realms is to use gratitude. But if you want to take it one step further, you want to move up, you have to operate in love. And we hear love all the time. Pretty sure you got a lot of songs you can put in a CD out of one particular album, you have 5 songs talking about love. Love you hear all the time. People want love. We don't understand what love truly is. Love is a frequency. And as you are imbuing yourself with that love, then you'll be able it would totally change your perspective of what's going on in your world. And if you change your perspective of what's going on in your world, the world will change. I say that again. If you want to change the world, you need to change your view of the world. I've said this before when there's all those people out there that talk about our youth. Our youth is bad, our youth is crazy, they're doing this and they're doing that and all this. The more we talk about our youth doing things that have a negative energy, the more you're going to experience more of that in your life. That's why there's so much drama-seeking information and entertainment based off of Hollywood, like I said. All of these particular forms of entertainment is to keep us constantly involved in arguing, bickering. At that time I grew up, it was Jerry Springer's show. Yelling, arguing, bickering, and bullying and things of that nature. If you're able to keep us in that particular mindset, we're easily able to get control. But if you understand what love is, for one, you have to start with love for yourself. For all those people, wait a second, I know I stepped on some toes. Wait a minute, Ptah. Isn't it a sin to love yourself? It's not right. You're supposed to love everybody else. You're supposed to love old ladies and children and babies. They come first, not you. Come on, Ptah. Get on board. And I would say you need to change your belief system, sir or ma'am. That belief system that gets you involved in where you make you seem that everything outside of you is better than you, greater than you, more. It's better to appease another person to make them feel comfortable. But meanwhile, you sacrifice your own needs. You make sure instead of your cup being full and abundant, your cup is now barren and empty. If your cup is barren and empty, you can't help anybody. You can't even help yourself. However, when you come to understand and love yourself, it's no easy task, folks. Like I said in the very, very beginning, we all have things that we have done or do that actually keep us in our minds away from the eyes of God. We all fall short. There's nothing we're going to experience in this third dimensional matrix that is perfect. Take a look in the mirror. Realize that half the side of your face doesn't even look like the other side of your face. There's nothing perfectly symmetrical about anything in this world, let alone inside of you. So for one, you just take acceptance of that. Oh, I am not perfect. But that's fine. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be good. Isn't that what it said in the scriptures? Talking in the back there. I'm at church right now. This is like the 8th time I brought up scripture right now. It certainly did. And so, when you come to find that love for self, when you start to realize, okay, I've done things that are improper. However, I'm a divine being. I'm a co-creator being. God is actually in me. Jesus said it. I didn't say it. He said the kingdom of heaven is within you. And you, by operating in that, you realize you are a powerful being. Regardless to who is in your family. Regardless to what tragic family that you chose. Woo! I'm going deep. Yes, you. You chose to incarnate into coming into that tragic, crazy family. And you chose to be coming to this earth school. This hard earth school. One of the hardest in the universe. At the most intense time. This ain't 1,000 years ago. This ain't, no. This is 2000, this is the 2020, 2024, up into 2030, it's going to get really, really real. This is the time that the mind spoke about in 2012. They were pointing to this time. This is the time that's written about in the scriptures and scrolls and Revelation, talking about a new heaven and a new earth, where the old earth is former and passed away. You also see things in the Revelation talking about wars and rumors of wars. Wait, World War III? Iran, Israel? We're talking about insanity and cancer running rampant. Insanity, check, is going up. Cancer, check. Life expectancy, down. Anybody over the age of 30, and even my young people, a shout out to my youth out there. Like I said, they're some of the oldest souls in creation. Make sure you respect them as so. You may don't project onto them your fears or your inadequacies. These are new beings. These are some of the oldest souls. There's individuals. Go ahead on YouTube right now. There's youth under the age of 10 that remember their past lives to details. Yeah. They remember how they passed. They remember where they lived. They remember what they did. All of that because there are powerful beings and they're at this particular time where the veil is about to be thin and then collapse for those that are not caught up in belief system and indoctrination. And you've already know. You can see little babies. They'll look around. They can see interdimensional spirits. They see them. Your cats see them. Your dogs see them. Babies see them. But good old adults that we're so refined and so wise and everything, we can't see what's in front of our faces based off of our belief system. However, it's time to rewrite that belief system and understand that, yes, you that can hear the sound of my voice, you are God in a physical form. Woo! I'm not pulling no punches here. Ptah Shakur, hit me up, 717-846-5067. Put comments on there. I'm taking it all. Yes, and in fact, when you rewrite your story, you understand that you are a powerful in-dimensional being because you've read certain things like the Emerald Tablets, the Law of One. You get in contact with the Gaia Network and see the married individuals and channelers that are on the planet right now sharing knowledge that has been hidden. Oh, this is scripture as well. It said, thank you, O Father, for sharing this knowledge, this knowledge, not to the wise and prudent, but to reveal it unto the babes. I say that again. Thank you, O Father. This is in the Bible. And all my religious people, go ahead. Put in the comment. Put the citation of this particular thing. Thank you, O God, for not revealing this information to the wise and prudent, and instead revealing it unto the babes. Yes, them same babes that are walking around, the YNs, walking around with hoodies and face masks. They are the children of God. And it's clearly evident based off of how they're expressing themselves that they were born in sin and baptized in iniquity like you. But unlike you, instead of evolving in the lower end of being all sad and depressed, acting like you're not, they got a little bit more anger with them. They got a little bit more energy with them. They just don't know where. They don't know where to put that particular energy because my generation and the generation before has failed our youth. Woo! Tough pill. Tough pill to swallow. Don't taste too good to do it. We have failed our youth because we allow entertainers and actors to be our leaders. We allowed our Al Sharptons. Take a moment to speak to the black and brown. So, talking to y'all right now. We allow Al Sharpton. We've been bamboozled by Minister Lewis, who started the Million Man March. Brought up all these wonderful, powerful individuals to one monumental time. Haven't had a Million Man March ever since. Individuals that are working in certain levels of government that understand the knowledge that can actually cause free and reusable energy to be fully expressed as expressed by Nikola Tesla 100 years ago. They decided we don't want people to understand that you can actually pull energy right from the physical electromagnetic energy, like I said, that's coursing through your body right now. As you're sitting here listening to me nodding your head. Nikola Tesla found a way to tap in to that 0 point energy and actually cause electricity to fuel very large segments of population. But no. You're not going to read about Nikola Tesla in your school books. Woo! You're not going to hear about individuals like Elijah Muhammad or Nikola Tesla. Instead, like Nikola Tesla, before I get off topic, let me see what time I got. Ooh, we got 15 more minutes of fun, y'all. Individuals try to blackball Nikola Tesla. They cut his funding in half. J.P. Morgan. So you know what? We've had a system of telegraph wires and poles. We're just going to keep having electricity go through wires and poles. Why? Because we can keep a gauge on that. We can charge nickel, 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 nickel a minute. Nickel, 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 nickel a minute. Whereas this 0 point energy, there's no way to say, okay, well, you used up too much. And it's abundant. Never ending energy. But instead, want to have us use this society where we got to constantly go in our pockets to make sure that we have some electricity going on. These are individuals that have been gatekeepers. Even individuals, I'm coming for you all, individuals that's in these high-ranking universities. These scientists that have started to delve into quantum theory. And they discovered what quantum theory, guess what? Hold on one second. They discovered that in quantum theory, you can actually have one item. If you can cut that item in half, that you take that item and split it into two, you take part of it and you take it 15 miles down this way and take the other part 15 miles down the other way. Whatever you do to this one part of the atom here, the other one responds immediately. When you put electrical charge to this part of an atom that's over here 30 miles away, I was going to put that in the form of a question for class, but I'll give you the answer. 30 miles away, how is it possible that when you give an electric charge to that portion of that atom, it starts to spin in a northwesterly configuration, and then that other part that's 30 miles away is moving in a southeasterly configuration? And it happens so quickly that it actually does that quicker than the laws of physics explains, which is called the speed of light. There's supposed to be nothing faster than the speed of light. That is a falsity. That is a lie. That is untrue. And these new quantum computers and these new discoveries are finding out the nature of reality is not how we think. So they know this. They know about the double slit theory. They know that you can actually affect atoms that are in your particular room to let them collapse into levels of possibilities or to actually stay into a configuration of matter. Scientists know this. However, these are gatekeepers or individuals that are not sharing with you about this particular opportunities. So where does that leave us? That leaves us confused, inability to interact with one another, living in a state of suffering, living in a state of despair and destitution and regret and hopelessness. But unless, shout out to all those high-ranking, high-minded individuals that's sharing knowledge and peace with us to bring us out of that quagmire and actually take us out of force and put us firmly into power. So for the last couple minutes when I go into it, and I got a message for the youth following this. At the upper end, we find that love. Like I said, finding that love for self, understanding you are an interdimensional being, you are powerful beyond measure, and when you shine your light, you subconsciously give others the right. You're not afraid of being insignificant. You're afraid that you're infinitely more powerful beyond measure. And as we start to really delve and start to ponder into the magnificence and the power that we really are, then the next ego thought will come be, how is everybody else going to receive me? Am I going to lose my friends? Am I going to need to change where I live? Am I need to change myself? Am I need to change the way that I eat? Do I need to change the way that I dress? And then that's when everything gets shut down. But you are more afraid that you're powerful than you are insignificant. And so when you understand that love for self, then you can give a little small portion of that love to everybody that's out there. So if you're operating in love, you see life as being complete. You start to realize that even the obstacles and the very aggressive individuals in your life, and even some of these bad actors, Bill Gates and Elon Musk and things of the world, you start to understand their place in the world. And you start to see past the veil of separation illusion. And you just say, all right, you go ahead and do your worst. I'm going to do my best. We're going to calculate and see who's going to come out ahead at the very end. You also, as you're operating in love, you start to see God as loving. And you're in a process which is called revelations. A next step up from love is what's called joy. And this is one thing that really kind of got my goat. Whenever I was asked a youth to explain their day, have 10 lines, right? 10 different expressions of how you feel today. And I would ask them before I give them the piece of paper, how are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling good. Okay, fill this paper out. I am feeling good. I'm feeling great. I am feeling happy. If you can get more than 4 responses, I'd be shocked. But if someone's having a bad day, you tell them, how are you feeling? I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling annoyed. You could write a whole book. So these particular terminologies of right, a step above love is what? Joy. Have you ever, when's the last time you felt joy in your life? If you can resonate, if you can just close your eyes and just remember the last time you felt joy in your life, understand that that is the emotional level of serenity. You're basically like a giraffe. You're above the tree floor. You can see everything. You got the level of, oh, okay, I see what that is. And then you can choose. You have options. Because you are elevated and you have a higher perspective. Now you have options as far as, where do I want to be? I see this. I see the lions coming. You know what? I don't feel like getting eaten today. So I'm just going to take a little walk over here. So when you're on that particular level of joy, you start to see God as one. Woo! God is one. Wait a second. We were taught that God has you play the video games, you have Mortal Kombat, you have God on one side, and what, you're supposed to have like the devil on the other side, right? It's supposed to be a fight. The fight is supposed to be for your souls. And then you realize God is one. Everything that takes place in my life has a reason for it to take place. Either A, I've been focusing on that thing that I don't want, so hence that's my fault. Or if this is a season, this is a trial or a tribulation that is brought on to me by outside exterior forces, what it is, I'm going to take a step back. And I'm going to realize that God is in everything, in every experiences, and I've had all of them. Loss of loved ones, loss of personal things, personal tragedies. I've been in that little realm, y'all. Been in the basement. I got the t-shirt. I can prove it to you. However, taking the mindset of seeing God as loving and understand that God is one, meaning whatever that you're going through, there's a lesson to be learned about it. There's not a red man with hooves and a pitchfork. He's down there at 7 times the heat of the sun, but his pitchfork ain't melt. I best believe you take a pitchfork and you put it anywhere close to the sun, it's gonna melt before it even reaches it. But he down there with pitchforks and whatever. And he's supposed to be fighting. It's supposed to be a fight against God. That is a fallacy. It is a distortion. It is an illusion. And as if we get involved in this illusion, then we can experience suffering, heartache, pain, and things of that nature. So we don't have time for that. Although that's in the upper room right now, I can hear the sound of my voice. I shout out, Star C salute to you. These upper room individuals that understand that you are a divine portion of creation and you shine your light in any capacity, whether you gotta say curse words, whether you got your pants hanging down at your butt, whatever is your personal style and flavor. As you see the God here representing myself, understand this, that the opposite of success is not failure. The opposite of success. Well, let me just stick on that failure thing, because I've shared this time and time again. I think I'm going to go into this when I do my little focus on the youth. Failure is a part of success, is a step towards success. You're not going to take success and you're just going to jump up. Understand that every time you jump up, you got to go down first. You see that? You go ahead and you want to jump the ceiling, you got to go down. All my basketball players up there, before you dunk a basketball, before you go up, you got to go down first. You ain't going to meet nobody that just jump. It's not going to happen. So, understand that failure is part of success. It's a stepping stool. So if you go out, remember Michael Jordan, this is a famous story of Michael Jordan. He got cut from his, I believe his high school team. Yeah, he got cut from his high school basketball team. You remember, you could be a fly on the wall. Michael Jordan. on that day in 1970, whatever, when he heard the list and Berkowitz, Johnson, and he didn't hear his name called. He said, "Coach, I'm on the squad." "Oh, sorry, Mikey, you didn't make it." Did Mikey take his shoes? He didn't have Jordans at the time, believe it or not. Probably had some Converse. Did he take his Converse and walk out of that room and say, "Well, I guess God, this must be a sign from above that I'm not meant to be a professional basketball player. I'm just going to take this information outside of myself and tell the inside of me what's going on"? He said, nah, heck. He said, hell no. What he did say is that I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to use failure as an option. And so before I close up, we'll go ahead and do due respect, answer this phone call right here. My apologies, this phone is looking kind of crazy. I'll try to get to your phone call, try to call you back. I'll write the number down on it. This phone is kind of weird or whatever. But before I leave out, I just want to share that idea that failure is part of success. The opposite of success is conformity. That means when every time you're trying to change who you are based off of how you trying to pattern yourself off of somebody else. You want to dress like everybody else. You want to drive the same cars as everybody else. You want to rock the same watch as everybody else. You are not being your genuine self, and therefore you are not being successful. Success is being who you are supposed to be. So before I close on out, I want to make sure that I get this out. This is my message to the youth. We must focus on the youth. Youth is our future. We must teach the youth how to budget and use time, and above all, teach them the truth that time is their greatest asset. It's the available and it's the cheapest. We must also teach the youth the basic motives in which all people are influenced, and show them how to use these motives in acquiring the necessities and the luxuries of life. What is that? That goes into horoscope. That goes into the, like I said, the laws and principles of creation. Goes into body language. These are certain things that are used in the business world, and they're certainly used in the political world with this double speak. They know how to actually present information to control people. So we must teach our youth how to use these principles to actually control their environment, to bring forth what? The necessities, bread, milk, water, house over your head, and luxuries. BMs, drop tops, rolly watches, whatever it is that you want. You have the ability to get that. However, you got to utilize the principles of what influences people and energy to bring that into your particular experience. We must teach our youth how to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, in the relationship between sound eating and sound health. No more our youth going to schools, walking past these vape shops, breathing in vape. Understand, when you, whatever you, your food is not just what you put in your stomach, it's what you put in your mind as well. And so what we want to do is teach them those Takis and things and that you want to make sure that you have nutrients in your body and how much to eat. We're living in the most obese society on record. And it's high time to make a change in that. So 2 more ideas. We must teach our youth to be definite in all things, beginning with a definite purpose in your life is what I say. Fail early, fail often. Find something that you want to do. Keep plugging yourself out. Like I said, LeBron James, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Michael Jackson. You keep trying that. Every time you come back with a bruise, you come back with a failure. There's a seed of victory in that. And that's my very last message for the youth. We must teach our children the difference between temporary defeat and failure, and show them how to search for that equivalent advantage that comes with every single defeat. And so, like I said, failure is part of success, and we want to make sure that our youth, the most powerful souls that are chose to reincarnate back to the planet at this particular time, during this tremendous time that we move into this new creation, this new earth, away from the new world order. If you want new world order, then stick around and you keep doing the same thing you're doing. If you want move into the new earth, check out Ptah Shakur. Okay, let me put the screen back. I don't need to put the screen back. Ptah Shakur. See it on the screen here. Ptah Shakur speak. Check me out on YouTube. See the profit videos that I have. And so as I make my closing, I'm sharing to everybody to find that divine love for self And when you find that divine love for self and start to love and appreciate the glory of what is you, then you will go on motion and give a small smidgen, iota, dollop with your fellow reflections that are walking around in physical flesh, calling themselves fellow human beings, but they're really God expression, a part of yourself. And let's do what we can to actually bring in this heaven on earth. This is Ptah Shakur, and love and light to you all.